Hello, this is Ragana's Magic Shadow Castle, and in my personal opinion this has some of the nicer details and features that I personally have seen in a LEGO building or structure based set of this size and price ever. So what I'm going to do is take you through a quick overview of all of the features first, just get you through the entire thing, and then come back and spend a little more quality time looking at some of the smaller, finer details. First of all, the main entranceway has a hidden feature that is really slick. You can put a figure on the walkway up to the main door and then just push this forward. Look at that. You push it forward and the doors open at the same time. It's all connected, and those are brick built doors. You actually have to build up those doors with a bunch of small pieces, but this is just so slick, and you open that up and Ragana can just be greeting you there because she knew you were coming. The second level has a really nice kind of stained glass element in the front, but mostly this just has a couple of balconies on the sides. Most of what you'll see for the second level will be on the other side of it, kind of from the back. But this area over here has Ragana's little potion making spot. You see there's a cauldron there with some ingredients already in it, and then there are some more ingredients on a shelf up above, as well as a recipe. Also, off to the side, there's a flask with an elixir or a potion in it that's already been made, and also this is Ragana's staff, which she can pick up and use. The topmost level of the castle from the front is very creepy looking, with these magical torches off to the side, which are based on crystals or maybe some sort of green magical flame. And then there are a couple of banners that are hanging down. Those are separate pieces. This is kind of built up to look like a beast of some sort with the eyes there. So you see that the head is facing down and then it has horns on it. And then at the very top is this glittery dragon egg. And this is exclusive to this set, you see, with the glitter and the translight blue color. And inside of here you will find Estari, the baby princess dragon. I'll give you a closer look at this later on along with the figures. Now let's take a look at the back of the main part of the castle, starting from the top. I've taken Estari out, but you can see there are a couple of treats or pieces of food items off to the sides, and then this is a milk bottle. This first full room is a wash and powder room with a lot of beauty products off to the side, and because it's open on the side, it lets a lot of light through, which really helps those to shine. That is a sink back there with a little bit of water, and there are two mirror elements there with mirrored stickers that really work. We've got stickers on some of the other items here with the kind of throw mat there, rug, and then also on the top of the seat there's a handheld mirror as well with a small mirrored sticker inside of it, and a torch off to the side. The next level down has Ragana's bedroom, and this is built up pretty nicely with some interesting shapes, just unusual stuff. I really like, again, how much light can come through, especially with that yellow colored window behind and also the green crystal in the center. It's different that they went with the really round shape to the top of the bed, and fortunately Ragana, the figure, has a fairly flat area on the back of the hair, and that's a rubber piece, and I'll show you that more closely of course, but it kind of helps to hold her in place. So even though the top of the bed is round, she doesn't slide off easily. Finally, returning to the ground floor, this is where the main entrance is that I showed you from the front, and now I can show you what those doors look like when they actually close and open from back here. So you can kind of see the mechanism down there. It's, again, really slick, and I think it looks just as good from here the way that it opens as it does from the front, but there are no handles here, so it has just not quite as much of an ornate detail to it. But they have nice ornaments off to the sides, with even the big old portrait on the wall there, a nice creepy sofa, and that actually has a treat on it. It's a bar of chocolate. That's nice. Very small bookshelves in the corners. They just wanted to bring in a little extra detail, so those just have stickers on them, but I think they do a good job of kind of establishing the decor of the place. This is a nice fireplace, again, letting light through so you really get that glow, and there's also a shield up above with a sticker on it. So all of this looks pretty nice for its size. It is a little bit awkward that you've got these stairs right here though, when you don't have any stairs around the back. It's just something that had to be done in order to allow you to have that walkway come straight in, and then you can take the stairs down while still leaving enough room for the doors to be able to open and close with their mechanism. Returning to the front of the castle, now it's time to give some attention to the secondary area where Ragana's throne is. And to get there, if you're crossing from the castle, first you have to go over this bridge. And the bridge goes over a large valley, and the valley has water flowing through it, some crystals, but also some spikes. So those spikes are going to be very dangerous and actually add a lot of danger and fear to crossing the bridge, because the bridge is not stable. It's actually able to rock back and forth, side to side. So you have to be careful about that with your balance. And if you put a figure in the center of it, it has no studs in that area. So right here, she's actually attached. But if I put her here, now she's not attached. It's just a tiled off area. So she's kind of balanced there, and it makes it really easy for her to accidentally fall off. So you don't want that to happen, obviously. And that takes you straight across to Ragana's throne. However, there's an alternate way to get there off to the side. So there's this steep pathway. You can kind of climb those stairs. You really have to climb them because they are so steep. So that's just another way that you can get in. Maybe you can split up. One of you approach from one side, one of you approach from the other. Up here is Ragana's throne and her crystal ball, and if you make it in front of her and get audience with the evil queen, there's one more thing that you need to worry about, because if you're standing right there in front of her, confronting her, that's actually a trap door. This can be pulled out and you can fall down into the dungeon there, and then the floor can come right back like nothing ever happened. This is the back of the throne area, so you can see the back of Ragana's throne, and she's sitting in it right now. And below that is the dungeon. You can still break somebody out if they get trapped in there. You can come around this side here, and there's a little mechanism that will allow you to use magic and break the door open, and then you can rescue your friend who's inside. If you're wondering what this small area was up above, good job spotting it. This is the resting area for the cat, Jinx, the evil cat of Ragana. And it's just kind of a small round bed. So the printed piece down there is supposed to represent a cushion, and the cat can just come down here and enjoy some food. Obviously gets taken care of and has very human tastes for food, with a couple pieces of sushi there and also some ice cream in a goblet. Here's a closer look at Ragana, Ira, and Naida, the latter two having their new exclusive hood pieces, which are in their own colors and have these nice prints on the top. Metallic gold here and silver over here. They also have the hole in the top where you can put a bow element or other hair accessory up there. I think Ragana is done really well with her new hairpiece here, which is all one thing. The whole headpiece is all one, including her evil crown that's painted up really, really shiny there. I also like the build of her staff. Just a handful of pieces there. A couple of them are relatively new to recent years of Lego, but just really well done. Also, there's a single spot where you can attach a hair accessory to the back of Ragana. These are really nice flowing capes, so they're easy to move around and they don't crinkle up. And they also do include in this set just regular hair pieces for these two elves. So if you don't want them to be hood up, they do include this for Ira. And here's the hairpiece for Naida as well. I think the hair pieces do look better, but it's always nice to get new and different options. But these hair pieces are just really well done with their colors, and especially with the gradient, I think, that they add to the base. Of course, you get the hourglass here, and then this is the Book of Dragons, which can be opened up. I love these newer styles of books from Lego, and there's just a single page that you can see on the inside. Here's a closer look at Istari, the baby princess dragon, and Jinx, the evil cat. Now, I think that Jinx is really not evil and really doesn't want to be evil, but is just really being subjugated by Ragana and partially controlled with her potions and spells and such. But I really think that Jinx is okay. Istari is a great looking baby dragon. Uses the exact same mold as the other baby dragons that we've gotten since the first season, but this color scheme I think is really, really nice. I'm glad when they use the transparent color for the inner mold. You know, it's two different plastics that are put together, and then they put a nice print on top of that. From what I've seen up to this point, LEGO has not made much mention of this small build that's also included with the set. That is a catapult that uses the magical powers combined of Nida and Ira. So wind power and water power, and it just acts as a regular catapult that just shoots things. So these cylinders represent water, quantities of water that can be loaded into the thing, and then you would use air power to get the thing wound up, and then it just shoots off like that. Works better if you hold on to it at the base as well, but it has some extra ammo there, and you can use that to, there we go, get a good shot at the castle. And you're just shooting water, so it's not really going to do damage, but it can possibly disrupt some spells or maybe distract Ragana. Now, as far as specific details that I want to cover more carefully and more slowly, I mostly want to focus on parts with interesting colors and also some interesting shapes that were made in this set. Now, first of all, this rock piece here. There's one here, there's one that's used over here. It's used to build up a lot of the bulk of the lower level of this and kind of showing you the rocky exterior. And it's really surprising that it's in such a pastel color. It's almost like a boysenberry frozen yogurt color, and yet it manages to work really well with the color scheme of this. It doesn't look out of place. You know, previously they've mostly done that in gray. They've done it in brown. They've done it in some other colors as well, but never anything quite so cheery looking. And yet, even with such a cheery looking color, it still kind of looks believable to me with the shapes there, just within this fanciful world and universe of elves. And it works well enough with the color scheme of the castle that it doesn't stand out to me in a bad way. So that's a really good thing. Also, these banister pieces that can be used also as small fences are done in black, and I think those look really good, and those are going to be really useful for all sorts of things because they have a very wrought iron look, which also works in realistic settings and not just fanciful stuff like this. Ragana's staff, I wanted to point out exactly how that's built in case you didn't notice. It uses a hollow stud and then a black colored ice cream cone piece. It's the ice cream cone, so imagine that in tan. Looks like a regular ice cream cone, but then on top of that, this relatively new small 1x1 pyramid piece in a bright green color, just on an upside down antenna. And if you do it in the right order, it all just works together really well, and it's compact. Now, I pointed out this beast head build already, but there's something you may not have noticed depending upon exactly how the light hit it, as I showed it to you from some different angles quickly. The smaller horns that are really recolored flame-like elements here are just black. Also, the center horn is black, but these larger flame-like elements that look black, they're not just black, they're actually a combination of black and gunmetal gray. So here you can see it's pretty obvious that it's random how they mix the two plastics together, so they're never going to be exactly the same. This one's kind of a little bit more obvious, the seam between the two plastic colors, but over here it's a little bit more subtle. It blends a little bit more, it's a little bit more curved, and more of the gray actually comes up into the upper part. So that's an interesting color there. One other thing about this section of the castle that I found interesting and surprising was the use of these kind of macaroni shaped pieces. When you look at them from the top, they're curved, but I don't think I've ever seen them used this way, where from the outside they're concave. So the round part that normally is used on the outside, that normally would give you a nice smooth transition, is reversed around. And it kind of smooths the inside edge there in a way that, I don't know, I just like. It just stood out to me in a good way. Did you know that Ragana's bed can actually be removed? It's placed on jumpers to make it easy to take it out. And that actually allows you to appreciate its shape a little bit better with especially these elements on the back, these large black flame style elements. Just makes it look even more impressive to me, I think. Down below, the sofa can actually be removed just as easily. So you can leave that out, or you can kind of use this to make the space appear larger. You can just imagine that the castle continues in here, so it just helps to kind of broaden things out a bit. And that shows you also its build a little bit better. This one does look a little bit extra creepy to me, a little bit scary. It almost looks like it's a mouth of sorts, like these are teeth around there. Like if you sit on it, then it may just gobble you up and take you into some sort of dungeon down beneath the basement of the castle. One last thing on the theme of seating is Ragana's throne, which can actually be rotated around a full 360 degrees, just so long as the back of it is not reclined too much. You need to kind of angle the back just enough to clear her hair so that her hands can sit here. It's kind of just a little bit of a balancing act of exactly where it will work, because this back can be brought up a little bit more straight, and it can also be leaned way back. You can lean it all the way back entirely if you want to imagine, kind of pushing her through that, or turn it into an emergency escape slide or something. But notice these side elements are angled in just a little bit, which tends to make it look a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more accommodating, like it's going to hold her in there a little bit better. But this is another really particularly interesting build. So that's Ragana's Magic Shadow Castle, and I am impressed. It definitely looks appropriately evil, and yet it's not off-putting. If anything, it might be a little bit on the inviting side. They've managed to capture the colorfulness and wonder and fantasy of the Elves world in a very positive way, and integrate that into the main headquarters of the primary villain. The price to part ratio for this set is right in the normal range, but I do have to say that for its overall cost of the entire set, it feels like the whole thing is just a little bit small. It does have a very good level of detail, and that's why it has so many parts in it, but the overall size of it I wish was a bit bigger, or I wish that this came with a dragon also, not just a baby dragon, but something a little bit larger, just for this price. There's always a compromise between level of detail and overall size and bulk. So let me know what you think about the set, and if you have any favorite feature of it, and also if you have any thoughts about its price and value. The comment section is open for you, so I look forward to your feedback, and I'll be talking to you again very soon.